You are Black in the Green Room with me, your host, Keith Underwood. And this is your spot for real talk about entertainment with entertainers, creatives, and showbiz professionals. Joining me in the room today is actor Terence Davis, known for his supporting work on Winning Time, Netflix Griselda, and as Myron on Divorced Sistas. In every role, Terence brings a blend of humor, courage, and honesty that makes his work stand out. We're talking life, career, and the mindset behind his approach to the craft. Terence, welcome to the room.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Terence, where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Washington, D.C.
What was it like growing up in DC?
It was interesting, because I was raised primarily by my great aunt and uncle, my grandparent, my grandmother's sister, and her husband. And they pretty much had me from a child. They actually raised my mom and my aunts too, as well. It was interesting in a sense because, DC in the 80s and the 90s was kind of like a somewhat of a tumultuous place because coming out
Mm,
of the 80s and that whole era was just kind of wild for a lot of people. So me coming of age and going to elementary school and trying to really find my way, it was interesting because I didn't have a lot of outlets to turn to. And being as
hmm
I was an only child, I pretty much just had my imagination. And I think that's where my love for acting kind of came about because wasn't much to do, being raised by older parents, my great aunt and uncle, they were already in their 50s by the time I was born. So
Wow.
didn't really have a lot of extra curriculums outside of just spending time with like my cousins and extended family members. So it was interesting. But
Right, right, right. So outside of, your natural curiosity and entertaining yourself, how did you transition that into becoming an actor?
well, I always had a love for storytelling. I
Hmm
feel like storytelling is like humanity's best pastime experience. It provides a form of escapism and uh, happiness and joy and fulfillment and all these things. And I felt that at a very young age. And so I always was fascinated by the art of storytelling. And so it never really dawned on me that I could become an actor.
Right, right, right.
I always had a sense that maybe, just maybe, I could find my way into it to some degree, whether it be writing or directing or some other form of the arts.
Right, right, right. Are those things that you're possibly interested in for your future?
Absolutely, absolutely. I wanted to use acting as a gateway to get in, get my foot in the door, to try so
Hmm
many different other things because I originally started off as a screenwriter. And that came about in high school, actually. I had a project that my my English teacher gave us, and he basically had actual actors come to the school, and we would write short films,
hmm
and they acted it out in front of the class. And when I saw that, that just kind of like lit a switch in me, and I just said, "Oh yeah, I really have to look into this and try to
Right.
make this a reality."
Yeah. What are some of your other creative outlets besides acting?
Ooh, music. I thoroughly enjoy music. I feel like there isn't a day that goes by and I don't listen to some song or some kind of like musical number or something. Like I just absolutely have to have music in my day to day. I'm an okay singer, probably could be a little better, but yeah, I just feel like it's just life's soundtrack. You put on a great song, it could instantly change your mood, and yeah, it's pretty wonderful. It's wonderful stuff.
Yeah. Is there some maybe some musical theater in your future as well?
I don't know, Mr. Underwood. We have to wait and see. Possibly, I can't say anything as of now, but there's some things in the works for sure.
Really?
Yeah,
And I just was asking a question. I had no idea.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I really don't want to put myself in a box as an artist. There's so many different, like I said, there's so many different things I would love to try and love to do. So yeah, a musical, possibly. I would definitely want to get back into theater. It's been quite a while since I've done any stage plays, but yeah, I can see something in the near future coming about for sure.
Yeah, yeah. What that has your stage experience? What has it involved? Are there any particular roles that we would know that you've played or any shows that you've done?
Well, I pretty much got my training through a theater program.
Hmm.
And so throughout the midst of that, we learned about everything Shakespearean, from my Othello, Macbeth. Never really, never really got to do actual play,
Hmm.
but just being skilled in the art of Shakespeare is kind of something that I base my acting experience on. And so that's helped me tremendously throughout my acting career. And I definitely want to get into it in the future for sure.
Yes. What is it about acting that you love? And then what is it about acting that you don't care about as much?
Mm. I love the fact that you can really dig deep into the human psyche of it all.
Hmm.
You know, I'm an avid learner and an avid listener, and I've always been that way my entire life. And so if there's a job that I can take and break down into a character and bring it to life, take nothing and turn it into something,
Mm.
that's so magical and fulfilling for me. So, there, before I started acting, I racked my brain so many times on things I could possibly do for the rest of my life that could provide fulfillment. And nothing really quite added up to this.
Hmm.
And so I would say that in itself is something I absolutely love about acting and the art of acting.
Hmm.
Is that the fulfillment it brings, and not only that, the inspiration that I get as an actor from people, because people know how hard it is to kind of break into the industry, right?
Right.
They see that as something that you're actively doing that motivates people to do whatever it is that brings them fulfillment as well.
Mm.
And so I think that is probably the biggest thing for me.
Yes. And
And I'm
and
sorry, the second question,
yeah, what's a little discouraging about it?
discouraging? That you could fall flat on your face, if you don't get it right. But outside of that, everything else is a plus, 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 plus. Trust me, there's way more pros than cons when it comes to acting, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. So tell me a little bit about Myron on Divorced Sistas. Tell me a little bit about who is he?
Myron is an individual who's kind of like in a position where he is unsure of his feelings and the things that he thinks about on a day to day. He comes from a place of hurt. He comes from a place
Mhm.
of confusion. Um, and I think that's why he turned to the church, and his relationship with Pastor Jefferson is so strong because he looks at him as a figure who provides a safe haven for him.
Hmm.
And so I think throughout the midst of their relationship and the connection that they have, we see Myron start to develop more of an internal relationship towards the pastor in that way. Um, and he doesn't want to lose his job.
Hmm.
So he's really between a rock and a hard place. He's like, do I express myself and possibly lose my job, which I love, which he absolutely adores and loves? Or does he kind of like keeps himself guarded and continue to go through life with this uneasiness?
Hmm.
And I think that's where we are with Myron right now.
Yeah. Can without having you tell me too much, can Myron do both? Can Myron embrace everything about Myron and then still be of service to the church?
I think there's a happy medium between the two, but we have to keep watching.
Have to keep watching. If Myron had his own spinoff from Sisters, what would it be about?
Ooh, I think if we would see, actually, I think it would be a prequel. I think it would be a prequel,
Mm,
and we would pull the veil back and get to see Myron for who he truly is, because we don't really know that much about him right now.
right,
And
right.
so I think if there was a spinoff, there would be Myron maybe in his younger days,
Hmm.
before he developed this relationship with Pastor Jefferson. What he experienced leading up to that.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. What's your process? Because you've played a few supporting roles. What's your process for and on some fantastic shows, I might add. You've
Thank you.
done Griselda, you've also done Winning Time, and then now Divorced Sisters. What's your approach to moving into a role where you're supporting other actors?
I just really try to find a place of authenticity with all my characters. Whether it be backstory, whether it be research into the role. A lot of the people I've played thus far have been actual people who existed. So
Hmm.
there was a lot of source material on the character. But if it's a fictional character, like I said, I just try to come from a place of understanding, really try to get into the psyche of the character. And a lot of times when the writing is great, it's relatively easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. What makes it easier for you as an actor?
I think the life experiences that I've had. And I
Hmm.
think when I compare what I've experienced to the character and what they possibly could be going through, it develops like a delicate blend. And I'm
Hmm.
able to kind of like work off of that. And so
Yeah.
that's typically my process for character building.
Yeah. You're a tall guy. Did you already know how to play basketball before winning time? Or did
Yeah,
you
I
have to get
did.
some coaching going in?
Yeah, well, yeah. The studio provided coaching once we got the role, but yeah, I'm not too shabby. I'm pretty decent when it comes to handling the rock. I'm a little older now, but I back in my younger day, I was a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Okay. What made you a force to be reckoned with on the court?
The Michael Jordan comparisons, the outside of those, I mean, no. No, to be truth be told, I was one of those guys who prided himself on being decent in every sport.
Mm,
So, I played football in high school, I played basketball, I ran track, I did all these things. I wasn't above average
hmm.
in any means, but I could hold my own. I could hold my own. So when winning time came about, I was just like, okay, let me get refamiliarized with everything I used to do because it had been some years, and granted we had just come fresh out of COVID, so
Yes.
there's a lot to remember. But yeah, I'm pretty decent. I'm pretty decent in any sport activity, pool, table tennis, you name it. I am your guy. Trust me. We can get it.
Okay.
We can get it done. We can get it.
Yeah. What is it? Pickleball.
Pickleball. Exactly. Pickleball. Yeah. Yeah.
Good, good, good. Terrence, what was I think Winning Time was your first like breakout role was Winning
Yeah.
Time.
Oh yeah.
What was it like for you as an actor before Winning Time?
Your typical actor story. You're auditioning, you're hitting the pavement, and you're trying to really like break into the industry and just basically auditioning for everything under the sun, hoping something lands. And I moved to Los Angeles in 2017, and that's when I decided to take acting serious
Hmm.
professionally. And so from 2017 up until now, I've been, just kind of riding that wave of highs and lows. And
Hmm.
prior to winning time, there were a lot of lows. I remember I booked a pilot that I thought was going to get picked up, and that kind of took the wind out of my sails. And at the time, I was only in LA for 2 years, and I
Mm,
just remember second guessing myself, and because I essentially left everything behind. I left DC, moved to Los Angeles, clear across the country.
right.
And so, I had a job. I worked at the post office. I quit my post office job. I sold my car. I did all these things. I
Yeah.
initially uprooted my life for this dream that I had. And so as a couple years started to go by, it became really difficult. Money wasn't the way it used to be, and not having the ability to reach out and see certain family members and friends the way I wanted to.
Mm,
So it was rough. It was rough. An actor's journey is a very complicated one at times, and you always have to kind of like just always be optimistic because there can be some really really dark times
yeah.
when it comes to acting.
What do you do to bring yourself back up when you're in those moments?
Hmm. Lots of FaceTime calls with my therapist, aka my mother.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, she always lightened my mood, no matter what I was going through. Dealt with a few minor health complications in the beginning when I got out here, and like I said, money issues and everything. It just seemed like it was one thing after another. But jumping on the phone with her and seeing her face and talking to her, hearing her voice was kind of just like my saving grace each and every time. And even to this day, like she still lives in DC. I'm in LA. Obviously, I go back and forth now, but she's everything to me, and
Hmm.
she always held me up, and she always believed in me. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
contribute. I contribute the success to her.
That's beautiful, man. Absolutely. What what inspires you?
A lot inspires me. Just the everyday individual who finds the strength to get out of bed, to keep pushing, to keep going, no matter what it looks like. I turned 40 in July.
Mm.
So throughout my life, I've had the blessing to meet a lot of different people from every walk of life. And all of their stories, for the most part, are just so influential and touching to me. Because you have the single mom, and you have the dad who has health complications, and you have people that have so much going on, and you think about your own self, and you just realize like you're living in this little microcosm of something even bigger and greater than you. So
Mhm.
when I look at people around me and I look at the things that they endure on a day-to-day, on a daily basis, I just can't help but feel like, wow, like if that person finds the strength to keep pushing, then I know I can find the strength to keep pushing as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. With Griselda and playing Bear, right? It was Bear.
Yeah, Richard Bear, yeah, Joseph.
Yeah, yeah. Who was Bear? You said you always pull from somebody, right?
Yeah.
Who was Bear based on and why?
He was an actual guy, and he was an associate of Griselda Blanco back in the 80s in Miami. They pretty much ran the whole Florida, Miami drug scene.
Hmm.
She was involved with the cartel and all these things. And he was kind of like one of her, I don't want to say lieutenants, but he was in her inner circle for sure.
Hmm.
So they would, have a lot of deals, and they would meet up and talk about business a lot. And I want to say she probably trusted him, although I don't think she trusted too many people.
Right.
I think she probably was one of the people she may have trusted in her inner circle for sure.
Yeah. Did you know about Griselda before landing this job?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know about Griselda. She's kind of like cut from the same cloth as Pablo Escobar, and I feel like everyone
Hmm.
knows Pablo Escobar.
Right.
In fact, they call her like the female version of Pablo Escobar. So when I got the audition for this, I really, really buckled down and took it serious because I was like, wow, like this is gonna be a pretty good show. And it's by the same producers of Narcos, which is another hit show
Right.
on Netflix. So
Absolutely. What did you learn about Griselda's story that you didn't know before?
I learned that
That surprised you.
that surprised me. Hmm. I'm not really sure it surprised me, but the love and affection that she had for her children,
Mm.
something that I didn't know about. Because you look at this larger than life figure who's very intimidating, and you can only think that, I don't know, like is she this way with her family as well? And I know she probably was under a lot of stress, so did that like play a part in her relationships with her family and her friends? But no, that wasn't the case. Like she loved her sons more than life itself. And when
Hmm.
I found that out, I was like, okay, okay. And that was a driving factor as to why she pretty much did what she was doing, because she wanted to provide for her children. I
Hmm.
don't think she just did it to live a life of luxury. Although she did do that, but I think she ultimately did it to provide for her children and the people that were closest to her.
Hmm. Um, all three of the characters that most people are going to know you from the best, they're all very different. They're all very different. What's the secret for you to transitioning into different roles and different characters and not making them seem the same?
That's the joy of acting, right? I mean, we get fun from playing multiple people, multiple roles, good guys, bad guys, sad people, happy people. I think for me as an actor, that's why I do it, to play several different characters, because that's where the joy comes in. That's the fun of it all. I don't want to get
Hmm.
stuck in a box. I don't want to get typecast as playing the same person or the same caricature or same character in everything I do.
Hmm.
So in order for me to find a way from one character to the next, I kind of just reset. I reset myself, and I think about the choices I made on previous characters and how I can apply something different to a future character. Because
Hmm.
I never want there to be remnants of a previous character onto the next character. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't think that's fair to the audience. I don't think that's fair to myself as an artist. So, and I think that's what makes it so interesting. I think that's what makes it fun. It's like
Hmm.
a puzzle you have to solve. Acting is a puzzle. You have to solve it. and you get the words, the print on the page, you get those, and you have to break it down. You kind of like make it your own, that's the beauty of it. So that's pretty much my process from transitioning from one character to another. But um, I'm still trying to figure out ways to do that better, though. I mean, it's a never-ending process, right?
Right, absolutely, absolutely. What's your dream leading man role?
My dream leading man role would be, uh, you know, here's the thing with me, Miss Underwood. I uh I hate the term leading man, and I
Mm,
hate the term character actor.
mm,
I never want to get labeled as any.
hmm.
I just want to be me. I just want to act. And there's just so many interesting characters, so many interesting people, so many interesting stories to tell. So I never want to be that guy on record that said, "Oh yeah, this is," because it can always change, right? Like I can feel this way now, and then a year from now, I can want to play someone else, and so on and so forth. But to answer your question, I could probably see myself playing hmm, maybe some form of a government official.
Hmm.
That would be fun. I used to have this fascination with presidents in my younger days, particularly the Kennedys, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and that whole
Right.
felt like that was super interesting. So I don't know, maybe fictional, of course, but I would like to see myself as maybe like the US president in a movie or a television show. I think that would be I think that would be really, really fun.
All right. Well, we're going to speak that into existence right now. If Terrence wasn't acting right now, I know you said you worked at the post office before, but if Terrence was not acting right now, what would he be doing? Or maybe he's still doing it.
No, actually I'm not. I'm focusing more so on acting these days, but I don't know. That's interesting. I've had that question asked several times,
Hmm.
and I feel like the answer always changes. But one thing that always sticks is some form of teaching. I think
Mm.
I think if I could be like an English teacher, that would be great. I love kids. I don't have any of my own, so I would obviously embrace all of them as my own. Um, yeah, or maybe a chef. I actually love cooking too, so thinking about going
Ah,
to culinary school, trying that.
yeah.
Everyone
Whenever,
loves to eat, so
yes, they do. Whenever someone says that, I always ask them, what's your go-to dish? What's that dish that people are like, man, you did this?
okay, it's relatively simple, but it's my go-to for sure. A nice asparagus with mashed sweet potatoes and a nice side of broccoli, maybe, and possibly a little smoked salmon.
Okay, all right. That does sound good.
Yeah.
Do you do desserts too?
Not as much as I used to, but I'm a big cookie guy.
Oh yeah, me too.
Love
Oh,
chocolate chip,
oatmeal raisin for me.
oatmeal raisin. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
can't go
yeah.
wrong. Can't go
Yeah,
wrong.
it can't go wrong at all. Yeah, and I know that, as an actor too, you have to, keep it lean. And being a chef and liking to cook, is that difficult?
Imagine so. I mean, I feel like it would have its pros and cons, right? Because if you know what you're doing in the kitchen, you can obviously cook a lot of clean and healthy foods,
Absolutely.
right? You won't have to hire like a private chef or order out or so I think in that regard it would be a positive, a pros. But yeah, then you might be sitting around and you might get bored and say, I feel like having a little tiramisu right now. I'll go in the
Yeah.
kitchen and whip that up.
Right. Oh, we can roll with a tiramisu.
We can roll with a tiramisu for sure.
Okay, okay, Terence Davis, Chef Terence
Chef.
Davis. Yeah. So, man, what was the whole auditioning process like for Divorced Sistas? I can only imagine considering what we've just seen of the characters so far.
Mhm. Well, let me start off by saying thankful to Mr. Perry for giving me the opportunity.
Yes.
Uh, I actually have been auditioning for several years, and I just always felt like when my time would come, it would be for the right thing.
Hmm.
So when this came about, I read it, and I actually read for a few other characters in the show. But with Myron, I don't know. I just had a sense of, I know this guy. Like, I know what he's feeling.
Hmm.
I know what he's thinking on a day to day when he's around Pastor Jefferson. I know how loyal and devoted he is. And I know what that looks like.
Hmm.
So when I got the audition for the role, I just I just did it. I felt great about it. And about a week went by and I didn't hear anything. And I kind of it was still stuck in the back of my mind. But like I said, I had been auditioning for Miss Perry for years. So I just, you never know. And my agent called me one morning and said, "Hey, they want to offer you the role." And for me, I was thinking like, "What? No callback, no." like, are you kidding me? I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, wait, it's not April Fool's. So what's happening? And she said, "No, they want to offer you the role, and they want you to start in a couple weeks. They want to fly you down to Tyler Perry Studios, and you're going to start shooting in a few weeks."
Mhm.
And so I just thought to myself, wow, like this is actually a reality. And I just remember thinking to myself, okay, I have to really take this serious. I knew this day would come because, like I said, I've been auditioning for so many projects for Mr. Perry. I just knew my time would come. And when it did, I just felt like, okay, this is it. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm curious, what's one of the other roles that you auditioned for Tyler, for Mr. Perry, that
Mr.
you thought you were going to get?
Well, I auditioned for Pastor Jefferson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I did a pretty good job with that.
But the pastor got the job.
The pastor got the job. Yeah, you can't beat
You
out the
can,
pastor.
Yeah.
So they said, "Hey, yeah, that was good, but read for this. We want you to read for this." So
Mhm.
okay, all right, which has happened a lot, as an actor. That happens quite often.
Oh
They
yeah.
have you read for multiple roles. And so I read for Myron, and like I said, about 10 days had passed, and they called me and just wanted to give me a direct offer for it. So
Mhm. What's the I'm asking you questions that I know the answers to, but
mhm.
what's the shooting schedule like over there at TPS?
Shooting schedule. So the shooting schedule was very interesting. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced. But to me, that was a good thing. It was a blessing
Hmm.
because it really made me stretch as an actor.
Mm.
We started at the top of March and we went to about halfway through the month. So we were down there for about 3 weeks, give or take. We had a week of rehearsals. We got to meet everyone and kind of go through everything together. And then we started shooting the following week. So I think for a total about 9 days, we shot the
Mm.
entire season.
Hmm. For a total of 9 days.
Yeah.
Wow, that's rigorous.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
but it's a testament to Mr. Perry and his genius and him knowing what he wants.
Yes.
I kind of feel like if you're a visionary and you know what you want, it really shouldn't take that long.
Right.
You
And
know?
it's really funny because of course I know and have worked with and have interviewed a lot of actors who have performed for Tyler Perry Productions. And they say that yes, the schedule seems like a lot, but I've never heard anybody complain. That everyone said it was a good time. It was a professional set. I learned some things. I learned some things about myself.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's like one big family. Like it's one cohesive unit. Everybody's working hand in hand, and we have one single objective, and everybody carry out their objectives just efficiently. And like I said, it was unlike anything I've ever experienced in a great way, because now
Hmm.
I know that if I can do this, I can virtually do anything. We
Absolutely.
shot 16 episodes in 9 days.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And kudos to all of you. Um, well, who's your top three? Who are your top three actors to work with?
Don Cheadle,
Why?
Don Cheadle, there's just a sense of mystery to him.
Mm,
We never really hear anything about him outside of the industry. And that's something that me myself, I kind of want to mimic that.
yeah.
I really don't want people to see me. I'm not like oh, look at me. I'm on television. Hey guys, it's me again. Like, I never want that to be my story. I want to be remembered for my humility,
Hmm.
my professionalism, how well I treated other people. And so I had the privilege, when I first moved to LA, I worked on this show. I did background on this show called Black Monday,
Hmm.
Don Cheadle,
Hmm.
and he was the lead in it. And I got to see how he worked on a daily basis and
Hmm.
how he treated everyone around him.
Hmm.
And so seeing that firsthand, and like I said, this is my first year in LA. And I'm around Don Cheadle, and I was kind of like a regular background actor too. So I was there for several weeks.
Hmm.
And so I got to see how he worked on a daily basis. And I just thought to myself, wow, like this is how I'm gonna be as an actor. This is how I'm gonna treat people. This is how I'm gonna craft my profession. And it was just a complete learning experience for me. And then I think in that moment, he instantly became one of my top favorite actors. Not more so
Hmm.
for his work. I mean, he has a great filmography. Don't get me wrong, but just how he treated everybody on the day to day.
If you mentioned Don Cheadle, who are your other two?
You can't have this conversation without mentioning Mr. Denzel Washington.
Of course.
I mean, he is the pioneer for every artist, no matter the ethnicity, no matter the background. I mean, he is the epitome of what an actor should be. And I think the very first time I saw him, it kind of like lit a fuse in me. It lit a fuse. At the time, I didn't know I wanted to act, but I knew this guy was special. I
Hmm.
knew he was special in what he did. And you have a lot of people in this life who are just born to do certain things.
Hmm.
And Mr. Denzel Washington is one of those people who were just born to act. So when I
Absolutely.
watch him, I aspire to be that great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You're in good company with that one there. I mean, he is the GOAT.
He is.
Absolutely. Who's your third?
Okay. Hmm. I really fancy Meryl Streep.
Mm-hmm.
Streep and Daniel Day-Lewis. They're like kind of tied for the third place. But it's just the amount of work that they put into their roles is admirable. Because I
Hmm.
feel like they're two of the hardest working actors to ever do it. The attention to detail, it could be the little the smallest minute thing, but to them it's grandiose. It's
Hmm.
huge, right? And that always comes through in their performance. And I think that's something that's just so admirable and something I obviously want to put into my bag of tricks as well as an actor.
Hmm. What haven't we seen you do yet? What's
Comedy,
that? Okay,
comedy.
okay. Can you knock it out the park?
I can knock it out of the park, man. I'm one of the funniest people ever. I'm just waiting for the right thing to come along.
Right.
Everything is kind of like heavy drama, or you see Myron, and he's um,
Myron's a little funny though.
he's a little funny.
Yeah, he
He's
is. He's a little funny. He's a
you're not
little
the first
funny.
person that told me that. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
little funny. But something like really comedic would be so much fun. I'm just waiting for the right thing to come about.
Yeah. Like what type? Give me if quickly, if you can think of a role that's already out there that you think you could have put your spin on, what would it have been?
Hmm. Uh, this might be a stretch, but I would probably have to say, okay, I got to preface this first by saying Jim Carrey is like one of he's in there too in my top.
Right.
Jim Carrey. I would like to do something like really silly, like an Ace Ventura, where I could change my hair and change my voice, and I'm talking different, and I just want to completely transform into something other than myself in a comedy. Maybe put some
Yeah.
prosthetics on me. That'd be great, like Eddie Murphy, like he always does in like the Nutty Professor films, and Martin, and like what was the name of that movie?
Big Mama's house.
Big Mama's House. Yeah,
I
when he
think
had like
that's
the
right. Yeah.
prosthetics. I would love to do something like that. Like put some prosthetics on me, slap a wig on me, and let's go. Let's get it going.
Yeah. Yeah. Any superhero genre film ambitions?
Superhero. Oh my goodness. You how much time you got? I could talk about this for the next 2 days.
I'll give you 2, 3 minutes.
2, 3 minutes. Yeah, anything superhero, anything. There's so many like superhero comic book adaptations nowadays.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty much game for anything. I love being in shape. I love the physicality of superhero films.
Hmm.
So yeah, anything. DC, Marvel, they got the boys out. And I think there's another one, Peacemaker.
Yeah.
There's just so many different comic book adaptations. I would love to be a part of any one of them. I'll play a tree, you know.
I am Groot. No.
I am right. Yeah, I'll play Groot Senior or something. It would be a blast to do that.
Yeah. So what's coming up next in your career that you can talk about? Or drop some hints too.
Ooh, okay. Well, there's an highly anticipated show that's on the way for its third season, and it airs on Stars.
Hmm.
So I may make an appearance in that, perhaps,
Maybe.
maybe. Yeah, outside of that, I can't really talk about too much else. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. If you can piece that together and figure out what that show is, yeah, be on the lookout for that. But if you can always DM me at Terence L. Davis on Instagram and we can have a discussion.
So Terrence, for you, what's been the highlight of your career so far outside of the roles you've played?
Outside of the roles, probably the relationships that I've developed,
Hmm.
set, uh, people interacting with me on social media. I think when you do anything artistic, the idea is to invoke a response,
Mm.
right? And to have a discussion about certain things. And so while entertainment can be a form of escapism, it can also be a form of deep thinking
Mm.
and looking deeper inside yourself as well as a person. I love the conversations that I've had about certain projects that I've been in. And I love to really kind of shine light on people, real people,
Hmm.
uh, and the experiences that they're having in real life. I think that when you take film and television, a medium like film and television, it's so expressive and it could change the dynamic of how people think.
Mm.
So for me, I think that's just one of the biggest joys and one of the things I admire the most about uh, what we do. And if I were to take anything from my career and acting outside of acting itself, it would probably be that.
Hmm.
The way these projects make people feel and the community that comes with it. Because a lot of people will get on social media that'll probably never interact in their entire life, but a show or a film can open a discussion amongst several different people.
Hmm.
And so I think that's one of the beauties of it for sure.
Yeah. You said you've loved the conversations. Have there been any that you've been like, wait, whoa, whoa?
Oh yeah, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. But when it comes to film and when it comes to the arts, that's to be expected.
Hmm.
That's just, I mean, like I said, to invoke a reaction. These are
Hmm.
people reacting to certain
Right.
things. And so, of course, I'm going to have a whoa response because it's just like, oh, you just never know. You just never know how certain dynamics in a scene or in a show could affect people.
Hmm.
And so, as a result, you might hear the most outlandish thing come from the person, right?
Right, right, right.
And that's just what it is. I knew all about that before I signed up for this.
Hmm.
And it doesn't really bother me much. Like I said, we're all human, we're all flawed, no one's perfect, right? So to look at someone through a lens doesn't really it doesn't really blend well with what we do. I can never point the finger at someone and go, wow, that's what you think of it. Really?
Mm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if someone came to me, it's like, Myron should have did this, Myron should have did that, Myron, or Richard should have did Richard Bear Joseph or Adrian Danley or any of the characters I play. I can't really, I'm not gonna sit back and judge them,
Hmm.
because that's the whole point of it. It's art. Just like if I create a painting, Some people might look at it and say, "Oh, that's beautiful. That's amazing." And some people might look, "That's hideous."
Hmm.
You know, that's what you sign up for. Same with music, same with poetry, same with any form of the arts. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I probably that didn't answer your question,
No,
but
you absolutely
okay,
did because
okay.
it calls back to what you said earlier about studying people,
Mhm.
watching people, using them as character study possibly, or maybe to better help you internalize in your own work. I mean, so yeah, no, I got it.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. Terrence Davis, tell us again where we can find you on socials.
You can find me at Terence L. Davis. That's TERENCELDAVIS on Instagram. That's my only social media handle. So if you're looking for me, that is where you'll find me.
All right, Terrence Davis, thank you so much for joining me.
Be sure to follow me, Keith Underwood, at Mr. Keith L. Underwood on IG. You can also follow me on FB at Keith L. Underwood. And you know you gotta follow Black in the Green Room at Black in the Green Room across all platforms. Until next time, this has been Black in the Green Room.